So today we're going to take a look inside a community called One Way Church. We're going to break down their welcome message to see how one big idea, one single vision really shapes everything they do, from how people see themselves to what their weekly schedule actually looks like. Let's jump in.
Right off the bat, this is their mission. This is the big one. We live to see His will established on earth as it is in heaven. Now, you might think, okay, that sounds nice, but for them, this is way more than just a pretty phrase. It's literally the foundation for everything else we're about to explore. It's the filter for how they see the world. Okay, so a vision like heaven on earth, that's huge, right? Where do you even start with something like that? Well, for One Way Church, the answer is kind of surprising. It's not about going out and changing the world first. No, it starts much, much closer to home. It starts with you. And here it is. This is the key idea right here. They believe you just can't change the culture out there without first letting God change the culture in here, inside yourself. You see how that works? It sets up a really clear sequence. First comes the internal change, and only then can you have any real impact on the outside.
So this focus on personal change, it actually gives every single person in the community a specific identity. This isn't a place where you just sit in the back row and watch. You're expected to take on a role, an active part. And that role, it has a very specific name. They call it a revivalist. And what does that mean? Well, they define it as a carrier of His presence and glory. Think about that for a second. That completely changes what it means to be a member, right? You're not just showing up, you're an active carrier with a real defined purpose.
And being a revivalist isn't just a cool title. It comes with a job to do, a mission. They call it the kingdom assignment, and it boils down to two key things: bring light where there's darkness and bring life where there's death. It's this simple, powerful framework that's meant to guide what they do, day in and day out.
Okay, so we've got the big picture vision, and we've got the individual's role as a revivalist. But what does this all look like in practice? Let's check out their weekly rhythm and see how these big ideas actually take shape when everyone gets together. All right, so looking at their Sundays, you can see it's pretty intentional. The whole day starts with a prayer meeting from 8:30 to 9 o'clock, and the purpose is really clear: to prepare hearts and get ready for what's next. Then you have the main services, one in the morning and one in the evening, and the goal for both is the same: to be refreshed in His presence. So there's this really strong emphasis on both preparing before and participating during. But check this out. Once a month, on the very first Sunday, they do something special. Something that takes that idea of worship and turns it into direct, practical action for the community. It's called Thanksgiving Sunday. And this is so much more than just saying thank you in a prayer. It's a physical, tangible thing. People bring in food and clothing donations, and all of it goes straight to the church's welfare ministry to help folks who need it. It's a really powerful way to connect a spiritual idea like gratitude to a very real, practical outcome: taking care of the community. So that's Sunday. But the week doesn't stop there. They've got a bunch of different ministries happening all week long, each one for a specific group of people. Let's take a look at a few of them, and we'll start with the kids. So for the kids, they have the Ruach Kids Ministry. And that name, Ruach, is actually a Hebrew word. It means something like spirit or breath of life. So right away, the name itself has this really deep, significant meaning. They get together on Friday nights for a couple of hours. And it sounds like it's all about mixing fun and hanging out with learning about Jesus. It's basically a space just for them, where the church's big ideas are shared in a way that's, fun and easy for kids to connect with. Next up, there's a group just for the men. And you can probably guess from the name, Men of the Kingdom, that it ties right back into that main vision of bringing the kingdom to earth. And you have to see this meeting time, 4 a.m. on Friday mornings. Yeah, 4 a.m. So this is clearly not your casual, grab a coffee kind of get-together. This is for guys who are seriously committed to learning how to lead their families in, as they put it, the ways of the kingdom. And of course, there's a dedicated ministry for the women in the community too. But this one has a really unique, creative spin to it. Okay, so on Thursday mornings, the ladies get together for something called Word and Art. And it's exactly what it sounds like. They combine Bible study with actually creating art. It really shows an approach to faith that isn't just about reading and thinking. It's also about a hands-on, creative way to connect with what they believe. Alright, so we've seen the big vision, the role of the revivalist, the weekly schedule, and all these different ministries, but what's the glue that holds it all together? Let's look at how they wrap it all up, framing everything as just one big, continuous mission. And here it is. This last part really brings it all home. It ties everything we've talked about right back to that main vision. The instructions are actually pretty simple. Love God, love other people, and actively walk out the kingdom here on earth. It's a great way of saying that all this stuff, it's not just a list of events you attend. It's a constant, ongoing mission.
And they end not with a statement, but with a question. A direct question for every single person. After explaining their entire vision and structure, they turn it back to the individual and ask, what is your role in this? It's such a powerful way to wrap things up because it takes this big community idea and makes it a personal responsibility.